Good evening, East Texas. I'm CBS19 meteorologist Joel Robinson here with an evening update. We're currently streaming live on our CBS19 Plus streaming app, as well as YouTube and Facebook. So if you have any questions, I have the Facebook chat queued up over here. Don't hesitate to ask any questions. I will be sure to answer them and stand by for any answer or any questions that you may have. I'll get those answered here. But we're continuing to track the potential for flash flooding as we go into this week. Let's real quick load up this time lapse here just to recap on the day. Just a lot of rain here. This is around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe a little bit earlier. Had a couple of rounds of just torrential rain. You can just see that right there. You're kind of looking at Broadway here, next to the mall there and the Longhorn Steakhouse. Lots of rain on the road out there. Definitely made travel very hazardous. Lots of flooding out there. And luckily we have a little bit of a break. But what we're talking about here is we are continuing to talk about the risk for heavy thunderstorms as we go into the next 24 hours, even 48 hours. I think it starts to weaken, or I should say the chances start to decrease as we go into Friday, because we move more from a widespread risk to more of a scattered, maybe 3 or 4 of us out of the viewing area. We'll see some thunderstorms with the potential to produce some flash flooding. But overall, what we're going to be talking about is scattered thunderstorms with flash flooding, below average temperatures thanks to the rain chances. Because of that, we are now in the lower 80s. But then we have hotter and quieter weather for next week. And rain chances also start to decrease as well. But we are all in for a very hot pattern going into next week. It's going to be a little bit, just a tad above average. I think we're going to be talking about temperatures in the low 90s, maybe some mid 90s, but it's going to be feeling like 98, 99 degrees out there. It's going to be very hot for us out there. Let's load things over onto our CBS19 live radar. Currently tracking kind of a weakening shower off to the southwest in the Crockett area. See a little bit of thunderstorm activity in there. A little bit of thunder kind of rumbling in that Crockett thunderstorm there. But overall, as a whole, we're basically kind of in a cloudy pattern, maybe a couple of stray isolated showers, maybe a couple rumbles of thunder like here in Crockett. But overall, we are going to be expected to be relatively dry as we go throughout the remainder of the night. So that's some good news. However, big but, we are expected to have more rounds of thunderstorms going into tomorrow, mainly tomorrow morning. That's what we have in store for now. So flood watch continues until 7 p.m. tomorrow evening. So conditions continue to be favorable for the development of very heavy rainfall, which could lead to some areas of flooding. Easily 1 to 3 inches of additional rainfall could be possible within some of these thunderstorms. Let's take a look here. Rainfall potential as we go into Thursday evening. Here's 9 p.m. Across the area, easily 1 to 2, maybe even 3 inches of rainfall within some of the heavier thunderstorms. Obviously, don't take these amounts as concrete. This is merely an estimate based on our models, but certainly out of some of these thunderstorms that we get tomorrow, easily could pick up maybe an inch or higher, and maybe even 2 to 3 inches in some of these thunderstorms that make their way through. But overall, expecting plenty of rain over the next 24 hours and an additional amount of rain as we go into Friday as well. I have us at an 80% chance for rain. A lot of us will get in on the rain. 50% for Friday, so we move into more of a scatter. Not everybody will see rain, and then we go down into less of a chance as we go into Saturday and Sunday, and then we get hot and humid and much more quiet as we go into Monday. I still have 30s and 20% on there just for the potential for maybe some isolated pop-up thunderstorms. Kind of one of those things that pops up in the heat of the day. It's going to be pretty random, but it's going to be very isolated. So if you have any outdoor plans going into next week, it's going to be much, much better for any outdoor plans you may have. Tomorrow, because we have a lot of thunderstorms here that have the potential for heavy rainfall, so does the potential for gusty winds to pop up in there as well. So we have a 1 out of 5 risk for much of the area, not including Emory or Sulphur Springs, but a lot of the area here. So if you live in this green shaded area, could potentially get in on some gusty winds to 60 miles per hour. Very, very isolated though, not weather impact alert worthy at all. Friday, we still have the chance to see some thunderstorms, but non-severe. I think a lot of these thunderstorms, if not all of these thunderstorms, will be expected to be non-severe. So no issues there. Here's our future skycast. Mainly clear as we go into tonight. We start to see some thunderstorm activity creep into our southwestern counties. So Crockett, Palestine, Athens, that's 5 a.m. basically going into 6 a.m. Could have some thunderstorms that could develop. They continue on through the rest of the morning on Thursday until we get to lunchtime. And then it moves into more of a scattered, maybe some isolated rumbles of thunder in there, but it really quickly moves away as we go into the rest of Thursday. And then we're basically all clear. We have some possible sunshine just at the very, very end of the day, just before sunset. So could get in on some beautiful sunsets as we go into tomorrow evening. Friday afternoon, we could get in on some isolated thunderstorms across East Texas. Another band potentially develops along I-20 for Friday evening. Friday evening and Friday as a whole, really, not really looking too great as far as, too widespread, I should say, as far as rain chances go, but still can't rule out a couple of isolated to scattered thunderstorms with additional rainfall. Tonight, I have us at a low of around 69, upper 60s for the northern parts of the viewing area, and then we get down more to the south. You go Henderson, Nacogdoches, Lufkin, you get in on some middle to upper 80s. So very warm and muggy for tonight. And then our 10-day forecast shows that those rain chances start to decrease as we go into this weekend. Once we get past all of this whole pattern, once we get past it, it moves out, and then we turn up the heat and we dry out a lot. So we have 90s all the way through next week. The rain chances will range from isolated to scattered to pretty much non-existent. I think Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be really great days to be outside, maybe even Monday too. Honestly, it's such an isolated risk. I think Monday you could potentially get outside as well. It's very low, 30% for us out there. Partly cloudy, mostly sunny for Tuesday, and then we get on into more isolated thunderstorm development as we go into Thursday. Just one of those heat of the day things. It's going to be a very hot and humid air mass going forward, but certainly a great day, a great week to really enjoy being outside. Just make sure you are staying cool, of course, because the heat and the humidity are going to be sticking around. So make sure you do hydrate, go into the shade, take frequent breaks as well if you're working outside. Make sure you are taking care of yourself. So a hot stretch of weather up ahead. And I'm going to go over here to our Facebook. I kind of ended my stream off a little bit quick last night. I apologize. There were some questions that some of you had, so I apologize. But I want to come over here and answer some questions. Yes, you can sleep safely without severe weather tonight for the most part. I would say it's a very, very isolated chance, Katie. Maybe one or two of us could get in on some gusty winds, but I don't expect tornadoes. I don't really expect hail. I think the biggest threat out of all of this is going to be heavy rainfall here with the potential for flash flooding. So let's go over future skycast one more time for you. Just to recap, this is what you can expect. So this is Wednesday evening. We're pretty much clear all the way through. Can't rule out maybe an isolated gusty wind threat in there, but I think we're going to be just fine. I think you can sleep through the night, you'll be just fine. It's just until we get to 6 a.m., that kind of time frame, that we start to introduce some thunderstorms off to our south and west near Palestine, Crockett, Athens. It moves into central parts of the viewing area, starts to die out pretty quickly. So that's some good news there. I don't expect severe weather tonight. I will look over questions that you may have once more. Yeah, well, as I said before, we're not expecting severe weather. It's just going to be flash flooding, which is still obviously a concern. So I would say, especially if you live to the southwest parts of the viewing area, if you're heading to work tomorrow morning, leave with a little bit of extra time, because these are going to be kind of packing a punch as far as the rainfall amounts go. So make sure you are leaving with a little bit of extra time, and make sure to pack an umbrella. Do whatever you need to do. I'll look over questions one more time if you guys have any questions. And if this live stream, if I end this live stream and you still have questions, be sure to enter them just below this. I will be sure to answer them for you. Okay, it looks like we're not really getting any more questions. Okay, so I'm going to leave us here. We're going to have more information for you on CBS19 News at 10. We're going to have some updated data that we're going to be watching for, and that I'll have on CBS19 News at 10. So be sure to join us there. Have a great day, everybody, and I hope to see you there.